Hey guys, good morning. It's Sir Evan. It's Evan. Today's Wednesday, July 8th. It's 10:04:28 a.m. CT, and it's a big day for me. The brother from church might take me to go get some clothes. I have to upload this document to all parties involved in my arbitration with Tesla today, and it's due tomorrow, but I'd rather just get it over and done with today. And then I'm behind in school. I showed in my last vlog, one of my last vlogs, I showed all I have to show for it is my three band-aids. And so it's not much to see right now. They're a little bit wet. I just got out the shower to get ready to go get some clothes. So this vlog I want to focus on while it's fresh on my mind. I haven't written it down, but this is like a journal that I keep with me that means a lot to me that I found in the trash. And I'm down to like the last piece of paper. So I'm using the back because I've already used the front to put down a number for a VA. But I haven't even written it down, and because of my problem with my memory, I make these vlogs. And for me, they're super helpful. I know they're just like a huge rant. My last vlog, I was talking about philosophy and life, and I think my next vlog, I want to actually, after my last vlog, I actually put up a lot about my religion, which is science, but a lot about how the Christians accept Christian science. And I think it'd be good to put a video out explaining maybe both religions, like the religion of science, how it was founded, the religion of Christian science, and the founder of Christian science, and what she was trying to show really the world about not just the Bible in its text, but that the most important thing is medically and scientifically understanding the healing. The focus of healing is like that's the entire message, really, in that Christian science realm of things is really highlighting that the acceptance of the text is obviously it's crucial. The acceptance of what is in that Bible is crucial, but it's like if it's not followed through, if it's only followed through with the principle of in Christian science, there's a lot of people that are perfectionists, and that's kind of like they go hand in hand, I guess, because of the values that Christian science holds. And I think for me, that's like evident. That's not a huge thing for me, but for people on the outside, I think it is a huge thing because it almost seems like, well, why should I have such a pristine life or the understanding that I'm perfect when I know that I'm not? And in the world of Christian science, it's almost like you comprehend that you are perfect. You are perfect and you are perfectly made in God's image, and God is perfect. And so it's not necessarily you have to strive to be absolutely perfect, but comprehend that you already are perfect. And I think that a lot of people really misinterpret that, thinking like, well, it's a hygienic thing and things like that, but it really isn't because there are so many different religions and Christianities where sanitation is key. Like sanitation is a lot. And my grandmother was raised in her spiritual upbringing, religious upbringing. She was raised in the way that she never allowed us to eat or drink. Like it was almost biblical for her, and it is. I actually looked it up for myself as an adult in the Bible. There's somewhere where it says that you should wash your hands and you need to be clean. And my grandmother would always say, "You need to wash your hands before you eat." Like she would not allow us to eat unless we absolutely like washed our hands. So it was just a huge thing, and I think that in Christian Science itself, it's what Mary Baker Eddy, what Mary was trying to teach in the world of Christian Science was she's trying to spread the message of the acceptance of healing. I think, like, I know it's awful the way that I speak, and I don't care. I mean, I do my best, but I'm a modern day person. It's 2026, so this is how I talk, so deal with it. So it's just like, it's almost like, just to cut through, it's like, how can you accept the Bible if you don't accept healing? And the way to heal is to vocalize for a human. Scientifically, a human has to vocalize. I saw this horrible commercial, I think, on YouTube, and it was like somebody speaking about, it was like these women chit chatting. It's like, what can you tell somebody? And she was like, don't stop advocating for yourself because people don't know what you want. Well, God doesn't know what you want. If you don't vocalize what you want, does He know you? Yes, He made you, He created you. But also, your desires are what make you human. And He created us with those desires, emotions, so that we can come to Him. And so, the point of this vlog, I'm already 6 minutes in, but I thought I'd like kind of recap that want to make some videos when I have time, and I want to speak out loud like the fantasy that I had in my mind, and I'm actually kind of happy that I had this fantasy. I almost didn't want to wake up, but to be fair, like, I had to listen to my body, and I went through a lot of pain yesterday. I can't downplay the pain. Like, I can summarize the pain in my mind like it was a couple pins in my back and stabs in my back, like a couple pins in my back and band-aids and medicine. I can just sum it up like that, but it was rough. It was it's a learning thing too. Like, last time I had somebody to the side of me in a way, like kind of like holding down my arms, not holding it down, but like pressing down. And then, like, so I think I was just really uncomfortable, and I explained it in my last vlog, like how it went. But now I know, I think I feel comfortable going like this. So, anyways, last night in my fantasy, I was fantasizing about this woman that I love. I have feelings for her. I don't care if she doesn't have feelings for me, that's her problem. But I had this fantasy, and it was strange because it was like really not anything visual. If anything, it was just me thinking of words. So it was just me thinking of the words over and over again until there was like a full, I guess, fantasy for me. Because my mind, when I had my eyes closed, I was sleeping. I just saw black, but I just kept hearing like words or like thinking of words. I shouldn't say hearing words, but I was like thinking of words. I was thinking, I said, I want to hear you moan simultaneously with the thunder, something along those lines, or the thunder. No, I think that's what I said. I want to hear you moan simultaneously with the thunder. It it will or it would bring me the pleasure to feel you. I want you to place my hand in between your thigh, your hip, and your waist. So that I can eat. So that I can eat what I filled you. And after that was, I think it was just, I want to kiss you so that you can feel the power. I want to kiss you so that you can feel every drip of the power of this fantasy. That was it. And I was just like, whoa, who knew I had all that in me? I don't know, because I didn't. And then I didn't want to wake up from that. And then I woke up. And I was like, well, it was just different. And I think that with these spine treatments, these spine procedures, which is, it's weird because like I'm finding relief in other spots and like my neck is awful right now. It hurts so bad. And I don't know, like I feel so much relief, like I really do, but I guess as I'm finding relief in, how do you say, like I'm not so swollen anymore. I would feel very swollen in certain parts of my body, especially from the incisions that I had with my spinal fusion. Mm. So like I had the MRI done on my neck yesterday, and I have some herniated discs, and I'm not like extremely like, oh my gosh, worried to the point of like no return, but it is concerning, because the spinal fusion was kind of like the really make or break for me. It was like, do I risk my life for this surgery so that I can have the opportunity to walk again and be healed? Or do I just take the risk of like not doing anything? And in a spiritual way, like I think I did the most natural things that I could do. I got myself help, PT, life coach, and I did everything as naturally stretching and picking up work where I could pick up work. I wish I could get a job, but sadly, I constantly meet this weird situation with employers and stuff. So, and I realized like after all this corporate trauma that I have, I had to make my own way. And I am making my own way gradually. It's really difficult for me. It's difficult for everyone. I don't take away from anyone in the world. But I encourage everyone, if you made it this far in my vlog, like, don't stop believing in yourself. Don't allow people to make you feel like you don't understand the difference between reality and fantasy. And I think that I'm a very serendipitous person. I do believe in just like authentic, natural love in person. I do believe that it still exists in a world that's so technologically filled with just viruses and garbage online and scams and phishing. And sometimes things are not, how do you say, sometimes things, sometimes Mark Anthony has a song about it. All the time you were in front of me and I didn't realize, like, sometimes things aren't always so overcomplicated. They're very, very simple. Or, as I like to put it, the answer is always right in front of you. And in those times where you're just like, you can look at yourself and say, like, I'm the one who needs to change. Like, I need to make all these changes with myself. Okay, that's fine. But also, me being such a scientific minded man, also, you have to consider your environmental factors. Like, you have to consider the ecosystem that you exist in. And for me, it's like so many traditional, just so many people that have never thought outside the box. I feel bad for them. Like, imagine having that life, especially like I've been surrounded by a lot of people that have never known a life outside of the Bible. And I'm not saying that that's bad. That's like good for you, but it's not for me. I was Chaplin's bodyguard. I never pushed anyone away, and chaplains, every single chaplain, never taught me. They taught me that it doesn't matter the circumstance. We show up when a soldier's in need, and if they want us to read us their last rites, and my chaplain was not a Catholic priest, but he would do everything to learn how to help a soldier in need based on their religious beliefs. So we just never turned anyone away. There wasn't a word for that back then. It wasn't like, oh, this is diversity, this is inclusion, this is interfaith acceptance. And I think that accepting yourself, accepting what you view as real, is critical to your life. And don't hold back, because I almost lost my life multiple times, and I was gaslit so many times. I'm gaslit till present day, and it's like, even with this whole hantavirus and the viruses that are, I would say that there are names to these viruses and bacterial, however you want to call them, but either way, in past generations, there wasn't any such like over labeling of things. Like, even in history, when we were taught history, when I was taught history as a kid, we were taught that the Native Americans were attacked, and that they would be attacked by disease. And in wars, you have all these, even the bubonic plague, like, they were just like, okay, there are these types of things out there, but now it's like almost like there's just this unreal battle for like labeling viruses and like the names of them, and it's like, why? Like, the mission or the critical goal should be taking every countermeasure to make sure that these diseases, that these viruses, that these third world conditions do not thrive or even exist, so that viruses do not, or even parasites do not have a place to be fostered to live or survive. And what I'm getting at is like, life is rough, the world is rough, evil, bad, wicked, all that stuff, bad situations, bad circumstances exist. And what I'm trying to get to you and anybody watching in so many words is, you are more powerful in any way, shape, or form outside of a spiritual context, outside of any context. Your human, your life is everything. I like to say, just as clear as cut as the movie The Incredibles, your identity is everything. And your identity does not have to be so separated into segments of like, well, this is what's wrong with you, this is what's wrong with you. You don't believe in this and you don't believe in that. Because, like I said, I have been around people who have never thought outside the box in their lives. And that, to me, is not a life at all. And I think that, you know, really living modern day time, I don't think that for what this generation and this real lifetime population on the planet lives, there is no written in the tablet, written in some prehistoric encrypted. If anything, I think that the Bible has been over translated to the point where it's lost its literal meaning. And I think that the best person to discern and judge the choices and make the choices in their lives modern day time is yourself. You have to expose yourself. You don't absolutely have to. I'm not telling you what to do, but for me, I feel like I didn't have a choice. Like, I joined the military and I was like, I had culture shock off the bat, but I was also prepared in what to do in the case of certain things. I was prepared, and I can be here all day on the things that I was prepared to do in certain situations. And I would have translation cards in my pocket in the case of certain things happened, how to communicate with people of those villages, or of those countries. So I really didn't have a choice at a young age but to accept the culture shock off the bat. Like, yes, I was in DMZ, South Korea, but I was also in interactions at the DMZ with people in so many. There were people from like, there were soldiers from Switzerland. There were, wherever you want to. There were people from soldiers from all over the world at DMZ, and I mean, it's like I just had prepared all around for these interactions. So I mean, being in South Korea, the food, the fashion and Japan and coming back stateside. And so I think that I didn't have a choice. But I feel like now, even now, with what I've gone through and all the traumatic events, like even now, it's like why people are so racist, discriminatory. I'm never gonna get the answer. The answer is that people don't need a reason. And I saw the Michael Jackson movie, and I might start this off in my next vlog because it's really late in this vlog, and I gotta get my day going. But in the Michael Jackson movie, he says something along the lines of like, because he almost died, and I could relate to it. Like, I think the people that try to like end you or ruin your life, they're not gonna see it that way. They're gonna see it that they're in control of you. They're in control and you're wrong. And you don't know what you're doing. And they absolutely need to like end you. And that's what Joe was doing. And everyone can have their open interpretation of that moment. I feel like he probably did set him up and probably did want to kill his son for all of the money. And I feel like for me, like I was in the same situation where it could have just been a simple conversation, a simple talk. But with some people like that, they're just bad. They're just evil people. They're no good. And it could have been a simple conversation between father and son. It could have been a simple conversation between me and the people that I was surrounded by. And instead, they chose to take a life. And Michael says in his recovery, he says, I can't, and it's funny how they put it in the script. But I mean, I don't know. I can only speculate why. Maybe it's literal of what he said. But he said, I can't ignore this calling. I have to spread peace, love, and healing. And he was like, I was given a second chance at life. I have to spread this. And I was just like, wow, like I can totally relate to that. Like, I think when he opened up with, I can't ignore this calling, it was like, for me, it was almost like that's what evil wants you to do. If you want to call it the devil or just the bad situations and circumstances or the bad people in your life, that's what they want you to do. They want you to ignore all the good in this world that God has for you. Everything great and good, everything, your purpose, your plan, your blessings, everything that's good in this world for you and for you to give in return, they want you to ignore that. They will do everything for you to ignore all the good and greatness and kindness and love and healing in this world. And for you to partake and reciprocate that. And I was just like, wow, like it kind of brought me into this moment where like I feel like when you get into those moments of like, I can't ignore this calling, I think there's so many people that are just religious and they want to say, like, well, you can't ignore God's calling. Well, God doesn't call for me. God doesn't call us in this world. God created us and put us in this world. And he's not inside of this world. He says in the biblical text that he is not of this world. So in this world for me, he's not sitting here like actually calling me. Like he's not on the phone calling me. I mean, my sister Jenny, she says Jesus is always on the main line, so I guess. But you know, it is free 99 to just pick your hands up and talk to him. But what I'm getting at is like I think in this world, what Michael said himself was I don't think he said literally that God gave him this, but he said what he's been given in this world is a platform. And back then, platforms are not like a thing. Like in this time frame, in this decade, in this era, time, like a time where people spoke like, I have a platform. Like now, everybody's like, TikTok is a social platform or Instagram or whatever, Facebook. But that wasn't a thing then. Like Michael Jackson was given the world as a platform, and he was like tired. He was tired of people using him and forcing him to ignore everything about who he was inside and out. And it almost destroyed him. it was destroying him. It almost took his entire life. So he said, I have been given a platform to spread love, kindness, and healing. And I feel like I definitely took that message, like, with this 10.9K following reviews on YouTube. Like, I don't know what I'm doing right or wrong, but obviously I feel like I need to use this platform that I have to spread not confusion or misinformation, but to spread not just truth, because my truth is different than your truth, but I think that in my truth, living in my truth, I can spread love, peace, healing, and kindness, and continue to be all of those things. Like, it's difficult for everyone. It's difficult for me. Like, my sister loves me and she cares about me enough to do what she does and take care of me. But, there are times in the way that she talks where she's like, well, if this doesn't happen, you have to move out. If this doesn't happen, you have to move out. And I'm just so numb to it. Like, I'm like, well, then what's the point of me being here? Like, but also I have to understand that she has her problems too. And, am I probably one of those problems? I wouldn't doubt that. But also, like, kind of like how that happens, like, you have to understand, I have to understand, and I think people should understand that you will always have, you know, no matter what you combat in your life, you have to understand that all of those negative factors in life, they are just not eliminated whole. Negativity will always try to find a place to thrive if you allow it to. And all you can do is, like me with the grass. Like, the landscape was awful. Like, there was huge patches of just bald patches, and even though I'm taking all the proper countermeasures, and even though I'm learning, and I'm also learning, like, that from what I've done so far in my research with landscaping and grass keeping and grass growing, I've also seen a lot of modern day YouTubers and modern day, like, landscapers and grass growers. They skip all of the traditional, like, farming techniques, or they skip all that. And I mean, I found my own way. Like, I'm doing things like very old school. Like, these YouTubers and stuff have tons of money to just buy the machines and cool tools and stuff like that, and the cool chemicals and seeds and stuff. I don't have that kind of money. I just call it I'm balling on a budget. But I was like, why spend all this money on hiring people that are just killing the grass over and over and over again, just spreading dirt? I used a hand mower, and I bought all these hand tools. So what I'm saying is, like, what I've noticed is, even using the best technique and even modifying it to, like, me and how I want to attack the landscape, I've still found that the weeds will still find a way to come out. And all you can do is just spray them. Like, all you can do is, like, adjust. Like, could I have bent over and pulled it out? Sure. You could do that too. Could I spray it and wait till tomorrow? Can I run? There's so many different methods and ways to deal with things in life. But understanding that the negative things, they just are there. And they're there for a reason. They're there because, you know, accepting good is understanding that bad is there in the world as well. And all I can do is say, like, I'm going to be part of the solution and not the problem, and pick myself up. Am I concerned about my neck? Yes, because I'm like, I already went through the spinal fusion. I don't want to go through a neck fusion. And what I've seen from neck fusions is not good. Like, they actually open you up from your throat. And it was already scary enough being opened up from my abdomen and my back, and being told we think we can control the bleeding. And the risk of going through something where I nearly die again is that's the reality of my life. But I hope that now that I'm aware, like I started massaging my neck, now that I'm aware, like, I mean, not that I wasn't, I've always known something was wrong with me, but the VA kept telling me nothing was wrong with me because they're sick. And also, that's kind of like sadly how our country is set up right now. Our country is set up for all these government agencies to view a member of the general public as just bad. And it's sad. It really is sad. You know, the government and our legal system is supposed to be set up for the safety of all people, and it's not right now. And it's very sad. And I just hope, like, I can do whatever it takes for me in my life. And there have been so many people recently that have done wrong, and I know that I should set some time apart so that I can report them. But at the same time, I'm just like, priorities getting the judge this document and what she wants and what she needs and what these people need from me. That's due tomorrow, really at midnight tonight. So I gotta go and get ready and do what I have to do in life. But thanks for letting me share. Peace.